The Oklahoma City Thunder could be adding some veteran leadership to this team that is also a legend with the Oklahoma City Thunder, who is crowned the triple-double king, won an MVP during his time with the Thunder. We're not talking about Kevin Durant, James Harden, or these other legends that have been on the team before. Even Paul George, who has been linked to potentially going to the Thunder as well in a trade package. But instead, we're talking about Russell Westbrook, who I consider the greatest Thunder player of all time. Yes, he didn't win a championship. He didn't have great playoff success without Kevin Durant and these super teams. He couldn't really, we would make it to the playoffs, sure, with just him, but I still consider him the greatest Thunder player of all time with what he did to the city and how loyal he was to the Thunder organization. But before we get into all this, though, before we get into this video, I want to take a moment and say, if you guys enjoy the content and you find yourself coming back on a regular basis, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. It's the best way to support the channel, and it's the best way to stay up to date when a new video drops here on Thunder Digest. With that out of the way, we can go ahead and talk about this guy. Like I said, you guys know him. We all love him. There's really no introduction needed for Russell Westbrook, the greatest Thunder player of all time, one of the greatest point guards of all time as well. And he has been linked and reportedly rumored to potentially rejoin the Thunder if he does not accept his player option with the Clippers for his last year of his contract. And as you can see here, the odds are kind of nice. I mean, we have the third best odds here. This is from the Duck Central, according to Bovada Official. The Miami Heat are the favorites to land Russell Westbrook if he leaves the Clippers per, I already told you that. Miami Heat plus 300. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Miami Heat needs some veteran leadership and a backup point guard on their team. Chicago Bulls plus 325 could also make a little bit more sense, as well as they don't really have a true backup point guard, if my memory serves me correct, especially with Lonzo Ball having all these injury problems, and they could use some veteran leadership as they do have some young guys over there. And then there we are at plus 400, and everyone else is either plus 700 or plus, in the thousands as well, to try and land him and try to sign him if he does decide to become a free agent. And before we get into this, I don't want to say I don't want him back. I gladly welcome Russell Westbrook back no matter what. I always thought his ending to his career would be with Oklahoma City Thunder. He would do a farewell tour with the Thunder. I always pictured that as how it would go with him. And maybe that's why he would, not accept his player option with the Clippers and come back to the Thunder on a, veteran minimum. Do that with us, have a little farewell tour, try to get a ring. That wouldn't surprise me at all. The problem is I'm just trying to find a spot for him on the team where he can actually be the sixth man and get valuable minutes, and it's kind of hard. And I found an article that kind of hammered the point on that as well that I saw. This right here, this is from Cade Kimball on Sports Illustrated covering the Thunder here. Being a storied Thunder guard, also known as the franchise's leading scorer and league leader in triple-doubles, a Westbrook return to Oklahoma City is fun speculation. And a potential return to his former franchise might be the only reason for the odds given because the move simply doesn't make much sense right now. Westbrook returning on a one-year deal down the line to retire at Thunder wouldn't make sense, but given the team's playstyle and lack of role for a player like Westbrook, there's not necessarily room for the Clippers guard on the team. Both the teams listed before the Thunder and odds make more sense. The Heat could benefit from a player like Westbrook, someone who clearly fits the bill in the Heat culture. The Bulls are looking at a reset, are in a weird spot when it comes to roster building. And then you go ahead and go into the second part of the article. At this point in time, it's more than likely Westbrook is a sixth man at his next destination too. Again, the Thunder can't offer that role. Like I said, the story is fun and there's reason to speculate future returns to Oklahoma City for Westbrook and Kevin Durant, but the time isn't here yet. The Thunder is trying to continue and solidify themselves as contenders while those two continue to unravel their careers and look to compete for championships in their own regard. For the time being, the new era will remain separated entirely from the old era, and Thunder fans should be able to enjoy and embrace the current stage of Oklahoma City basketball while appreciating what used to be. I feel like that perfectly sums up what is going on with these reported Russell Westbrook rumors about how he could potentially rejoin the Thunder. The only way I see it happening this offseason, if he decides, I've done my best so far, I don't really have much left in the tank to kind of offer the league and other teams, I'm going to do my farewell tour now. It would be a sad season for sure. But however, I do think next year we have good odds, especially with how the offseason is looking like it will unfold and unravel for the Thunder, whether we trade for someone, use all this cap space to go sign guys like Nicholas Claxton or Isaiah Hartenstein. I see a bunch of stuff happening where we could actually be a true championship team and be the favorites to win it all. And Russell Westbrook would, benefit from that as he wouldn't play much. Sure. However, he could win a championship in his final season with the team he started his career and had the best parts of his career with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And it would be a storybook ending to one of the best careers out of a point guard in the NBA, in the entire history of the NBA, let alone. He's a great player, and the stats show it when he's coming off the bench, being a six-man and, kind of a role player for the Clippers. When you look at the stats, I mean, let's look at this real quick. Look at the stats here. 11 points a game, 5 rebounds, 4.5 assists per game, steal per game as well, 2 turnovers, less than 2 fouls, shoots 45% from the field, and we know he's not a three-point shooter, so we're not really worrying about those three-point numbers. He's never really been known as this, great three-point shooter. I believe his career best in three-point shooting was 33 or 34%, somewhere around there in a career or in a season. 6'4", you guys know all the details. He's already up there in age. He's getting to this point where he's such a physical player that he might be considering retirement already. That's very possible at 35 years old, almost 36. But shoots 29% on corner threes. Not a great clip there. 85% of his threes, however, are assisted. So he does better on the catch and shoot. We know that. And 23% of all his shots are threes. This just kind of solidifies. We know what kind of player Westbrook is. We know what kind of player he is. Westbrook, he's great. He's a great role player, and he's a great bench option now with the point that he's in his career. The problem is, I don't think he would get more than 12 minutes a game if he came to the Thunder. And I don't want that for him. As someone who grew up watching Russell Westbrook play, watching what he brought to Oklahoma City and the entirety of the state, how he kind of helped build the city of Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, how it is now. Some of the stuff wouldn't exist without Russell. It wouldn't. OKC wouldn't be one of the most vibrant and most populating cities every single year if it wasn't with Russell Westbrook and what he did with the Thunder. Oklahoma City, the Thunder might think about relocating again if he never existed, if he never came to the Thunder organization. So I appreciate him for that, for all he did, for the state, for the city, for the team, for the people that live here. I appreciate that, and I just don't want him to kind of come in here and not be the end of his career. I want him to do our farewell tour with us, and I'd be happy if that is next season and we win him a ring. But if it isn't next season, I don't want him here just to ride the bench and barely play and be miserable. I don't want that for him. That's the thing. He's too good of a player, too good of a guy. What he did for us in his time here in OKC, I appreciate it too much. I just don't want to see, the latter ends of his career, especially if it's not his last season, just kind of be a waste, where he can help out other teams and develop some other young guys in the league and make other teams competitive while they are rebuilding. I want to see that from him before he comes to do his farewell tour. And I could be completely wrong, and he actually wants to do his farewell tour this next season, and that's why he goes to the Thunder. I could be wrong about that too. We don't know what's going on. I just know I want the best for Russ. I'm sure every other Thunder fan out there also wants the best for him. Like I said, I'd gladly welcome him back. Would open arms no matter what. The thing is, I want the best for Russell Westbrook, whether that's with the Thunder or not. And just realistically, if he wants to be a six-man somewhere, the Thunder can't offer that right now. We just simply can't. We don't have that kind of role for him at the moment. It's being filled by other guys, all right? Whether it's being filled by Cason Wallace, if it would be filled by Josh Giddey next season, or even still with Aaron Wiggins or Isaiah Joe, one of those guys. I just, the role is not there for him, and it would be a waste of his talents just to come and sit on the bench where there are other places he could actually play. But that's what I got for Russell Westbrook. I love him to death. You guys, every Thunder fan should as well with what he did for the squad. And I want him to finish his career here and get a ring. It's just, at the moment, I think if he doesn't want to finish his career next season, he needs to go somewhere else. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think he should sign like a 3-year deal since our next 3 years is when we should win a ring, one of those next 3 years? Or do you guys think it should be, he needs to hang up the shoes, go ahead, hang up the jersey. Next season should be his last farewell tour. If he wins a ring, great. If he doesn't, oh well. We know he's a legend and potentially a Hall of Famer. That's all I got for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.